This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY digital voice net on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY digital voice net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. This net is primarily for the southern tier, but all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2, Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, and the name here is Frank. We're first to get standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give your call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for braking stations or for those who wish to disconnect this talk group. This is a directed net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice check-ins. For more information about this net or to join the Zoom meeting, please visit stnybmr.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize mobile in and out or emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 3 stations checked in through NetLogger this evening. So the net would like to recognize KC9 ATK Brian, N3 OJT Nick, and N2 DFS Jeff. When checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby for any and all stations who would like to check into the STNY digital voice net. Please call now.
N2 NCB, Paul, will we go?
Okay, India 6 India Gulf, John, California.
Kilo Delta 4, Echo Echo Bravo, Eric Leo. All right, and I would like to recognize N2NCD Paul, AI6IG John, and KD4 Echo Echo Bravo Eric. Are there any additional stations you'd like to join this evening? Please call now. You go, Delta. All right, and I would like to also recognize AB2 and GD. Gary, I had a little bit of loss in your signal there. Are you mobile right now? Negative. I am, but I am still out of town. But I'm not really roaming, so I'm not sure. Maybe is this any better? Over. Yes, it was there. It was just probably a short transmission, and maybe it was just a little network blip there that I saw some loss pop up. But just wanted to make sure that if you were mobile, I got to you first. There, that's all. Let's check one more time here and make sure nobody double there. Is there any additional stations that could join this evening? Please call now. All right, there. Nothing heard. So let's kick things off here. If there's any announcements for this net, please call now. Okay, no announcements. Moving on to questions. If there's any questions for this net, please call now.
S6 entry.
Yeah, I did see AI6IG there pop in there. Sorry, I was apparently getting a message on my radio there. I wasn't sure if you had any audio. Did you have a question there, John?
Yeah, I do. I have a question about some digital stuff. I have an older icon that requires a CIV interface, and I'm wondering if there's any modern equivalent because the icon no longer supplies them, the CT17, and what they did supply, you had to plug in the serial port. Most computers don't have that anymore. So I was wondering if anybody's using any kind of an alternative for older icon rigs like the 751. Back to the net.
I personally, the first time I heard of a CIV interface. So sorry about that, John. I can't really be of much help, but I will open it up. If anybody has any information for John, please call now. Hey, another heard that I did see a station there, W9SJO, popped in. I'm guessing he might have been just keying up to make talk group dynamic. So sorry about that, John. Yeah, I can hand it back over to you there if I couldn't find you an answer. I'll have to take a note of it here and to start digging in a little bit. I've never heard of these interfaces, though. So, hand it back over to you there, John. W2FTH.
Research it on the web. I've started to, and I just found these definitive answers yet. I mean, I see stuff. Well, we got this USB interface, but it doesn't really go into details about how to use it or what it actually does, or even if I actually need it. And the prices vary anywhere from $20 to $100, so I don't really know what I'm looking for. So that's all I got, and back to you guys.
Okay, thanks, there, John. And sorry we couldn't find a better answer for you. Yeah, what I was doing too, just googling it and see what came up with that. I already see some CIV to USB interfaces, but I have no idea what they're doing. So, all right, is there any other questions for this evening? Please call now. All right then, we will jump into comments there. So the net topic this evening, sorry about that. I was out with Davey visiting great grandma. We were out in the Corning area and didn't get a chance to post. Kind of posted last minute what the net topic was going to be, and I just came up with it. About 30 minutes before the net started. So the net topic for this evening is what projects has everyone working on? Either him radio related or if there's any other hobbies that you're interested in that you're currently working on some projects with. So first on my list is KC9 HEK. Brian, how was your week there?
This is KC9HEK. Good evening, Frank. Good evening to the rest of you folks in the group. Unfortunately, I don't have any ham radio projects going on right now. Some of you may know that I lost my HF antenna before Thanksgiving in a storm, and haven't had a chance to get out there and put up a new HF antenna. So waiting for the weather to break. Not ham related. Well, Buffalo, as you know, have all had some couple pretty bad storms this year, a lot of snowfall, and we have just under $13,000 worth of damage to the house. So getting the house repaired, back in order, working with a couple of contractors, that's taken up more than my fair share of time. And then from a sort of a fun perspective, I'm trying to teach myself Linux. I've got Linux loaded up on an old laptop here and just trying to learn the ropes and see what I can do with it to make it run a little bit more efficient and how I can start weaving it into my day-to-day life. With that, I'll stop rambling and I'll turn it over to Mick and 3OJP. This is KC9 HEK.
Oh, well, thanks, Brian. Good evening to the net. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Brian, about the damages. Wow. I was curious what this past storm that went through central New York, what happened there. I think in western Pennsylvania here, we've had 14 inches of snow. If that, I'm not sure who's even measuring it. I know up at Chautauqua Lake, I think they said 92, but I even wonder about that. So let's see here. Seems like John wants to connect directly to his computer, similar to like what Jerry wanted to do with his Yaesu, Frank. That's kind of like what I gather, but I can't offer much more. Projects, I got the ARRL kit, the NFED halfway kit that they advertised. So I've got it sitting here. I just got to get some time to get to it because I'd like to get it up and experiment with it. But this week, yeah, I've been busy here with taxes. My daughter was out at Lake Tahoe for the week, so I've been working on her car a little bit. And then one of my other daughters, her boyfriend called me and wanted me to help him put brakes on his car, so we did that this afternoon. But other than that, the one club that I belong to, WW3AAA, they've got a POTA activation at one of the state parks here. So it's more or less an event. The whole club has been invited to come down there and join it. I couldn't do it this afternoon. But yeah, that's WW3AAA. And the park is Raccoon State Park. So let me get a minute here, Frank. So if anybody does POTA, I'll get you the name of the number here. They were pretty active. They started yesterday, and I think they're going to continue through this evening. But let's see. I don't see it now. I think it was 1409, if I'm not mistaken. They must have been taking a break. I can't really blame them. But that's about it, Frank. Yeah, I got the Infinite ARRL kit that I want to put together, and we got a nice neck going this evening. Frank, I'll turn it back to you. W2FJH and 30JP. Hey, thanks, Mick. And yeah, this is probably the end cut halfway. And something, I've always been kind of interested in Poda. I know there's a few parks. I'm not sure if anybody even activates for parks here. But we do have Hatteries Park and also Kirby Park down there in Nichols. Interesting to, make some portable kits or something and be able to, travel with them and make some long distance contacts. And yeah, surprisingly too, yeah, that's 13,000 in damage. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, also, Brian, let me know if you need any help or get stuck with anything about learning Linux, because I'm fairly familiar with that. So, all right, next on my list is N2 of BSS. Jeff, unless my memory is mistaken, I think you're new to this net, so welcome aboard. We'll hand it over to you there.
Hey, good evening, Frank, and everyone else on the net. This is N2BSS, Jeff from State College, Pennsylvania, coming to you this evening via the K3ARL repeater system, DMR repeater in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, Center County. And I've been kind of off and on trying to monitor the spot group. It's not static on our system here, so every now and then I key it up. Maybe put a call out, never heard anybody on here. So then I realized there was the Saturday night net. So I figured, well, here's an opportunity to jump in and say hello and all that. Kind of ties into the net topic of what projects am I working on. For many years, I actually had a camp in Bath, New York, in Steuben County. And we just recently pulled out of that campground and moved the camper to property that we own in the Prattsburg area, also Steuben County, and started the construction work on that last summer. Got the driveway in, got the electrical service in, still working on the septic. It's kind of a work in progress, and hopefully this spring we get the well drilled. But the trailer's already been pulled up there, and everything's situated. So my next thing would be to try and get something ham radio related on the air there. Right now, I'm just running 2-meter FM into mag mount antenna that I have actually sitting on an oven pan over by one of the doors of the camper. And I can get into Bristol area repeater and all that. Okay, and chat with people up there, but no native DMR activity, so I guess that means I need to refire up an older project and get my hotspot finished so I can continue to communicate on DMR from when I'm up there. And yeah, other projects. I've been working on an electric bicycle conversion, taking one of my older hybrid bikes and actually electrified it. And wouldn't you know it, the one tool I need, a 3mm hex wrench, is missing from my toolbox. So I guess tomorrow it's off to Harbor Freight to pick up a cheap 3mm hex wrench and finish screwing that thing together. Back to you, Frank, W2FGH and TBSS.
Yeah, very good there, Jensen. It's always Murphy's Law there. Of course, it'd be the one that you need. That's the one that's missing. All right, very good there. So next on my list is N2MCD. Paul, how was your week there? Yeah, very good there, Paul. And actually, yeah, to Eric's point too, I think you also mentioned before, or somebody on this net mentioned before about how if you have kind of an outside call sign, some people, some folks might be hesitant on responding on analog repeaters and such. They might not answer your call. So. All right, this is W2FGH with the STNY digital voice net. And before I get to my next station, let's take a standby. If there's any additional stations that would like to join this evening, please call now. Net control, this is Whiskey 9 Sierra Juliet Oscar Steve in Greenville, Wisconsin. Good evening. All right, and I'd like to also recognize W9SJO Steve from Greensville, Wisconsin. Okay, so next on my list is AI6IG. John, how was your week there?
Interesting. I picked up a used G90, so I was playing with that all week, digital. That's what made me curious. Excuse me. That's what made me curious about getting this older icon ring on mine. Because 20 watts is nice, but I almost could connect to various East Coast stations, but not quite. And I think if I had another 10 watts or so, I could probably get in. I know people on the East Coast were hitting here with 30 watts, but I couldn't quite reach them. So that was why I was asking about that CIV interface to the over icon radios. Also, I'm putting together a Go box, which is interesting. It's going to have a 15 watt solar panel and a NIMH battery, whatever they are. I'm not sure what battery I'm going to use yet. But anyways, that's the project right now. So I'm just hanging out and wondering what's going to happen when I move to New York, because I've had to change my call sign so many times over the last 20, 30 years. I may just leave it with the 6 call. I've switched back and forth. I've had like 5 different call signs over the years. I'm a little sick of it. And then, and finally, as far as the Linux goes, how I ended up in California was because I am a Linux systems administrator. I've been doing it for about 25, 26 years. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to get in contact with me. AI6IG.
Hey, very good there, John. Turn that up. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm a software engineer myself, so you're in good company. I guess the G90, I may say it back to you. I'm pretty positive we talked before, but I do know that the G90 has a kind of a sister unit, that it's an amplifier that will connect to its data port, and I believe that goes up to 100 watts. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. So I'll hand it back over to you to see if you were aware of that unit, and if not, I'll try to get you a link there to what it is. Send it back to you there, John. AI6IG, the W2FGH.
Yeah, I am aware of it. The XB125 or something they call it, and it's about $600. So I'm thinking I'd rather spend $50 on the interface for a good icon HF rig than $600 on another piece of gear. Back to the net control.
Okay, fair enough there. Fair enough. I just wanted to throw. I was looking at the G90 myself. I like that unit, and I was looking at that I did just mention XB125. That rings the bell there. I kind of like, hey, if I 20 watts doesn't cut it, I can always get this later on down the road. But as I mentioned earlier with Mick there, I was I was thinking I might have to follow, get an Elmer on Toda and just follow them. See what it's all about. That's what I was thinking of. Small units pack up and be portable and get on the air. All right, next on my list is KD4 Echo Echo Bravo. Eric, how was your week there? Good evening, everybody. Not bad so far. This is my first time checking in with you guys. As I said, yeah, and I will comment on what Paul said earlier. I've had that happen to me personally, where I've had people not respond to me because I have a different call number. I have requested a new call sign through the STC. I'm just waiting for them to approve it. I know it takes 18 working days, so that should be sometime in the next week and a half. Other than that, I've been just received a new hotspot in the mail. I'm going to try to set it up. But my biggest concern, like I guess we're going to talk about it later, is how to set it up, because I will probably mess it up. But other than that, not too much, and I'll send it back over to you. Control. Yeah, very good there, Eric. And yeah, as Eric alluded to, the AfterNet topic, we will be talking with Eric and setting up this new hotspot that he just got shipped in the mail, actually today. So we'll be trying to get that on the air for him there. All right. Next on my list is 82GB. Gary, how's your week there? Yeah, good evening, Frank and everybody on the net. Pretty good group tonight here. It's been a pretty good week. I'm up here in Albany, dog sitting for my sister, so that's been fun. And I thought that I'd have all week to try to work on projects. Right, that's what you always think. Like, oh, I'm gonna go away somewhere and I'll be able to concentrate, work on some stuff. But I didn't really get done as much as I'd like to, though. But I did upgrade my Pi-Star hotspot, which was pretty cool. And then I found out actually there's a Brandmeister manager now that's in the Pi-Star dashboard, which is pretty neat. And you just need an API key to fill out in there, and then you can add and delete static talk groups to monitor, which is pretty cool from your interface. So that's a pretty cool thing I've been working on. And then other projects, I guess I'm trying to work on something called a donkey car. It's a self-driving, like an RC car, that uses Raspberry Pi on the back end and some sensors, and tries to do some machine learning to drive by itself. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just starting out with that. So other than that, I guess that's pretty much it. I'll send it back to Net Control. Yeah, very good there, Gary. Yeah, that sounds like the story of my life. That I always have big plans of what I'm going to get done today and what I'm going to, and then I kind of get one, maybe half of item done that I wanted to get done. But, and yeah, you also mentioned this donkey car. It just reminded me of they used to have for like the Switch. They had these little Mario carts that were physically remote controlled cars, but they were actually controlled by the Switch console. You play with a controller, and it was a hoot to see them, like, spinning around the floor and everything. And people were playing it, and you make like real life, like race tracks. So, all right, next on my list is W9SJO. Steve, how was your week there? Good evening to those on the net. I appreciate you having me. I think this is the first time I've joined this net. Not a lot here in northern Wisconsin. It's 20 degrees and 15 inches of recent snow. As far as projects, I'd like to get some radios in the car this spring. I'm in a little bit of a quandary as far as screwdriver antennas. I'd like to get a Tar Heel, little Tar Heel 2, or the ATOS or the Diamond SD300. Looks like the Diamond's one of the only choices at this point if I win an ICOM radio. Otherwise, I'll turn it back to net controls on W9 SJO. Yeah, welcome aboard there, Steve. And just also for Steve and Jeff there, and to BFF as well. You can find more information about this net. I'm not sure if you guys heard the small intro here for the net, but you can find more information about this net on STNYDMR.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo .net. Has a bunch of links there. We're also on 7.3. It's 7 spelled out with a numeric 3.net. Hope to hear you guys on here more often there. And yeah, I was going to say I could open it up if Steve was looking for suggestions on screwdriver antennas. I'm not too familiar myself, but we'll see here because I'm going to take another call here for let's take another call for any additional stations that would like to join this evening, or if any stations have additional comments, questions, or concerns, please call now. And forward, UJP, Kilo Mike forward, uniform, Julia Papa, John, Julia Oscar, November, St. George Island, Florida, coming in through a hot spot. Back to that. Again, and I'd like to recognize KM4UJP, John. Thanks for joining, John. Let me just pull back up the net topic in case you didn't hear about it earlier. We were talking about projects this evening. What projects is everyone working on? Either ham radio related, or if you have any other hobbies or other things going on. Just seeing if what projects you're working on. So I'll hand it right over to you there, John. KM4UJP is W2FJH. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm putting up an MFed random length antenna, and I was able to find a 10-foot length of solid fiberglass rod that I'm going to hook to a fence in back of my house and try and use that to bring the antenna up to my shack. I won't have much altitude, unfortunately, but I'm hoping that all the salt in the ground down here really tells me that you can really do wonderful transmissions when you got a lot of salt in the ground. And we've got. So we'll see. Hi, KM4UJP, back in that. Yeah, we're good there, John. And yeah, that was the second project there with NFED antennas. The other one Mick was working on, I think it was halfway that he was looking for. All right, let's make this final call here for any additional stations that would like to join this evening, or if any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. And for UJP, I have a question for the group. Back in that. Yeah, sure thing there, John. Fire away with your question. Yeah, remember that. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to run that antenna right over the top of my pool, which is a saltwater pool. Does anyone know if that's a good thing or doesn't have any impact or is a bad thing about running it right over the top of the saltwater pool? Back in that. That's a good question. I don't really have an answer for that. But I will open it up to anybody else on the net this evening that can help John out. Please come up.
N30JP comments?
N30JP, fire away there.
Thanks, Frank. Let's see, John. I know some guys, well, they got places around Hatteras in North Carolina area, the Outer Banks. And a lot of their activity is just setting up on the beach. They're able to get up a pole. Well, they got it stuck in the sand. They've managed to do that. And again, with the ocean right there in the salt water, that's perfect ground plane. As far as your swimming pool, I wouldn't think it's big enough. It is a good ground. It might be a good counterpoise for you if that's a consideration. I think you said you had an end fed. So, yeah, being below the antenna would be a good counterpoise for your ground off that end fed. So it's not going to hurt. That's for sure. And as a counterpoise, it might help a little bit. Back to you, Frank. N30JP.
Thanks for a minute, and we'll hand it back over to John, KM4UJP. 72 updates. All right, Roger that. Thank you. Thanks to for that information, and I hope to get that thing strung up this week sometime. I wish I could get it higher, but I just really don't have a way to do it. I don't have a tower, can't put up a tower. Plus, we're in a pretty serious lightning area. I'm not sure I'd want a tower, but anyway, maybe that'll work out well for me. I hope. KM4UJP, back in that. All right, very good there, John. I'm glad we could try to give you some more information here. I was going to say if nobody answered, man, we're going 2 for 2 with questions. All right, I don't give a final call. But let's just make one more final call here for any additional last minute check-ins or last minute comments, questions, or concerns. Please call out. All right, nothing heard there, so we will wrap things up here. I'd like to thank Brian, Nick, Jeff, Paul, John, Eric, Gary, Steve, and John number 2 just for the evening for joining us. We will be returning this conference back to normal amateur radio use. And as Eric had mentioned earlier, we will be setting up a hotspot with him on Zoom. So for those folks that might wish to listen in and take a look there, or any feedback for Eric, please join us. The link to the Zoom meeting is on STNY@gmr.net. So everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FJH. I'll be listening. W2FJH and TBSS. Thank you for sitting in the big chair tonight and running the net. Have a good day. N2BSS, W2FJH. Hey, Jeff, yes, thanks for the compliment for doing this. So, yeah, it gets a little busy at times. So, thanks again. 73 there, W2FJH.
Unmute. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. Yes. Okay,
Gotcha.
do we have, am I missing? No, we don't have Eric in here right now.
I hear you, Frank.
You hear me? Okay, okay. Yeah, I was looking
Hi,
for,
Mick.
I was looking for,
Brian?
uh,
KM4 UKP, are you still online? Tuesday at 6:02.
let me stop that. Just so I'm not-
AI6 IT KM4 UJB. Roger that. I'm still here.
just kind of turn that down a little bit there, just kind of monitor on the side there. I will have to,
Thank you.
message Eric, see if he's joining.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna, just looking at here, middle of nowhere, St. George Island, but, that's the longest length of pole I could find that wasn't gonna ground itself. Just would be thankful fabulous lightning rod.
But yeah, I got, I have my,
I might try and get it in.
try to turn it down a little bit there, but. Oh, he said he lost the link. I did get, I have my little notebook here to jot things down there, and I got whole front and back page with tonight's. So that was good. I got a full page out of it.
Good night tonight.
Oh, shoot.
I was wondering.
So I thought I saw him on here before. I was just messaging him. He said he lost the link, so I'm trying to see if he can trying to see if he can jump back on here, because there he is. Hey Eric, how's it going?
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, let me think well, actually, can you share right now, Eric? If I stop sharing, does everybody have the ability just to share? Hopefully I have that set up. Advanced share? I thought anybody, all participants, who can share? All participants. All right. So hopefully you guys have the share button, all right?
Yep.
Yeah. There, yeah. I just figured I'd have you share your screen. And we could kind of walk through it there. So you did plug in the hotspot. It's powered up right now, right?
It's not loading. It's been flashing service for about 10 minutes.
Okay, so okay, yeah, just leave it. If you powered it on and you haven't done anything with it yet, then we could start from there. We probably
No,
what?
it hasn't done nothing yet.
Yeah, so with a hotspot, until you figure out the Wi-Fi, well, it's going to make its own access point, which should by default, if it is a brand new card of Pi-Star, should come in as Pi-Star wireless network.
Yeah, whoops.
Which I guess we might want to do this part from your phone, as opposed to your computer there. Are you connected in through your phone or your computer? Yeah. Just because this part you have to actually switch Wi-Fi networks, and then if we switch Wi-Fi networks, we're going to lose Eric, and it's going to have to come back and reconnect. But
Yeah, because I'm on my home's Wi-Fi network right now. I'm scanning for the hotspot, and it's
Not
not
coming up.
showing anything. No, it's not. It's been on since you started the net, and it's just flashing service SVC.
Oh, SVC, yes. That's normal. Power should be solid green, SVC should be blinking. I'm looking
Yep,
at mine.
and the screen is off. It has not turned on yet.
Yeah, so that's part of the configuration for Pi-Star. You have to actually tell it what OLED display you'll be using. That was part of the setup there. So it did come with an SD card, right?
Yes,
The SD card is loaded in there.
yes.
And it's not coming up, huh? Do you have a SD card reader, like a USB SD card reader?
No, I don't. I don't have a micro card reader, no.
Okay, and your laptop or desktop doesn't have a SD card slot on it?
No.
Yeah, let's try it. We'll try this. I mean, I have one up here, but not really helpful that you're down there. I have a
Should I
few
just try to should I just try the power cycle it again? Because
So let's
I-
turn it off, pull the SD card out, and we'll reseat it, pull it out, put it back in. Maybe it was just a jar or something that, didn't want to power up there, and we'll try
Yeah.
we'll try that just to see if that's
does it matter what kind of power I'm running off? Because I'm only using my laptop's USB port. to Power it.
for some it might. I've had experience with like some Pi 3s and stuff that I've powered it off of I can't really show here, but it's like a little power station. It's like a little one that you plug in, and then it's like
Yeah.
a brick like this, and it has like 6 different USBs on it. I tried powering it off of that before, and sometimes it's a little finicky. If you have a wall wart, that is a 5 volt up to 2.
Yeah, I do have one. Let me go grab it real fast and plug it
Yeah,
in
try
somewhere.
using that, see if that makes a difference, because sometimes they are a little finicky on what power they're getting.
Okay, I'll do that real quick. Hold on.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, when I was traveling a year ago, I tried to power mine off of a USB port and it would not boot up.
Yeah, they're a little, because even USB, it could be 5 volt 1 amp, or it could be 5 volt. They might require 1.7 amp. So
Right.
unless it can go up to like a 2.4, usually it's pretty safe. If it's a 2.4, then most devices will accept that. But I know nowadays, like I was just finding that there's they're going up to like 3.5 or something with like these quick charging. They keep upping and upping the voltage, and either it's going up to 12 volt at 1.6 amp, or it's going at 5 volt up to like 4 amp, or they keep modifying this for these quick charging for these cell phones and such. So it's it'd be good when they actually standardize some and just say, you know what, this is the voltage that all of them are the same, and so all wall warts are the same, and we don't have this slow charging, fast charging, super fast charging type scenario. But it was actually Eric that was I was looking at because he was looking at getting some of the DMR radios, and as I was looking at it, I ended up pulling the trigger on one of the BTEC 6X2 Pros. It's basically a Anytone 878 UV2, the UV2, the newer model. Like basically the guts in here are a lot of the same, but BTEC has added a few little specs. One of them I noticed, I'm not sure how much use I'll get out of it, but I did see in here other functions. You can actually make this a simplex repeater. So it will restore it and then forward it off on the same frequency or a different frequency. And yeah, interesting little things that they always keep doing. So
does that have Bluetooth?
Bluetooth, yep. And it's the same as the UV 2, and it does also do the GPS receive for analog and digital, which I did get to test that out because I have an older Anytone UV, and I could actually get the two to message and GPS signal and everything. If I did that on Simplex, it worked great. We were just trying to figure out how to do it through Brandmeister.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank,
Yep.
I'm gonna have to be a short time tonight. My wife wanted to go up the road here to get something to eat. But I did listen to that APSR video. It was a little hard to hear. Probably because of the distance they were from the microphone. But that would be interesting. Yeah, I'd like to stay on, but I gotta cut it short here tonight. So
Okay, no problem. And yeah, I asked Gary to he did a lot on APRS analog. And I was asking I was did a little before with digital APRS, which is pretty cool, but I was looking for if he wanted to talk more about how to, like, hey, we got 6 guys around the lake or something, how can we APRS ping to see where they are, or something like those lines. That'd be an interesting discussion as well. But
yeah, I'm curious about this hotspot setup, but maybe we can do a little recap next week. So
yeah, and then it might I don't know, it might be I might have to get Eric a SD card reader. And we might have to pick back up next week if this power issue wasn't the issue. Maybe it was the SD card needs to be reflashed and upgraded there. So
well, I gotta
Yeah.
run. Well, Eric,
Yeah.
good luck. I'll probably see you again. And
Yeah.
Brian, best of luck with your problems there. Boy,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
tough.
Good seeing you, Mick.
All right, fellas. Good evening.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks.
By the way, nice to meet you, Eric.
Yeah, thanks.
You got her firing up now.
Yeah, it's on and it's flashing the same symbols. I have it plugged into one of those little 5-volt power supply plugs.
Yeah. So just by the way, that SVC it's blinking on my hotspots as well. So that's just a normal thing on the MMDVM board. So I knew one of them blinks. I'm always seeing it blink red going like this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's check. I mean, spent a little bit of time there. Can we check to see if it came up as a Wi-Fi network name yet, or
Let me see. Let me check my phone. Turn off that. No, nothing.
nothing yet?
Nope.
So, yeah, we can give it some time. Sometimes they take I don't even know. Let me see here. I wonder if there is a specific timeout. There's something else I was working on. Actually, ham related. It was a formula for a code plug, but and I wonder. I thought there might have been an auto access point timeout, but I don't see one. Maybe in expert settings there might actually be a timeout value. Basically, it says here that's exactly what I was talking before, the auto access point. Create, the Pi to create its own access point if it cannot connect to Wi-Fi with, oh, there it is, 120 seconds. So it's going to take 2 minutes. Once it's booted, it takes an additional 2 minutes now before it actually considers making its own access point. So it's nothing, it's not really a rush thing. Like once you plug it in, you might have to wait 10-15 minutes and then it might pop up. But hopefully with the power, hopefully you don't just have a bad SD card. Or maybe just the SD card just needs to be flashed again. But
Yeah, they included all these instructions here on how to do this. So
yeah.
yeah, it says instruction 1 was how to write a Wi-Fi detail in the hotspot, or instruction 2 says use TMP Wi-Fi to add new connection.
EMP Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it says it gives you option one is to generate a Wi-Fi configuration file and then plug it into your TF card. Or method two, use TNT Wi-Fi to add new Wi-Fi into hotspot.
Yeah, I know what they're talking about. You actually, again, you have to actually mount the SD card onto a system. And then what they'll do is there's a particular file that you can move into place. It's easier to just do the auto access point, but you could also do it this way.
Yeah,
There.
because this one has a
builder.
it has the wireless for Wi-Fi, and it also has a Ethernet jack.
Yes. Yep. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can reach here. Hopefully, maybe. Wait, where are we going? Where is this going? So I got so many cables. Come on. I don't want to drop my HDMI switch. There you go. That's what I have the. That's not really helpful. That's what the YSF connection over, well, the Wires X connection over to the Brandmeister is actually running off of this guy, but yeah, he has Ethernet ports even though I'm using Wi-Fi on him, but yeah, he while we're waiting for that to come up there. Well, actually, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. We might have to resume next week there, or I might have to try to get you an SD card reader. I need VNC. Where's my VNC? There it is. And that's probably not it. I can remember my password. There we go. Really? Okay, I was gonna say you're just taking a minute there. This is actually a different system I'm on that I actually just use to run Wires X that's connected to this other the FTM 400 that it's being used as a node, sort of it's in Wires X mode, but it's actually communicating with that hotspot, and it should hopefully nobody's on here. This is W2FJH testing on the Southern Tier Talk group, checking the Wires X connection over. No response required, W2FJH. As you see, my call sign will pop up as you're talking, and same thing, if you actually, anytime you're talking on the Southern Tier, it's actually also bringing it out into this Wires X room. Oh. Sorry, was he?
Yeah, there's also a note on the top of this letter. I guess it says when you first time use this hotspot, it will not work and display. It will not work and display nothing.
Yes.
You need to set the OLED TTYAMA0, and that's display types. So it says for more detailed setting, please use this user guide. So it says it won't display anything until you've set this up.
It stopped recording there.